Hello everyone, my name is Mary. I'm 8 years old, and I know I may sound small, and maybe my voice sounds soft, but my story feels big inside my heart. Sometimes it feels too big for me. Sometimes it feels like my chest is carrying something heavier than anything my little hands could ever lift. I don't know how stories like mine are usually told, or if they are even told at all, but today, I want to tell mine, not because it's easy, not because it makes me brave, but because holding it alone hurts even more. So, this is me, this is my life, this is my truth. I don't remember everything from when I was very small, but I remember pieces that come back in little flashes, like light from a broken window. I remember a warm voice humming to me. I remember soft hands, and the smell of something sweet. I don't know if these memories belong to my mother, or if they're just dreams I made up because I wanted them to be real. I don't know if it matters. What I do know is that the warmth in those memories is something I've spent my whole life trying to find again. People call me an orphan. That word feels big too. When I first heard it, I didn't even know what it meant. I just remember an adult saying it quietly one evening while handing me a bowl of soup. "Poor orphan girl," she whispered, thinking I couldn't hear. I asked her later what that word meant, and she looked at me with eyes that didn't know how to answer. I guess sometimes adults don't know how to say things without hurting you. Eventually someone else explained it. They said it means a child without parents, a child without a home, a child without anyone. When I learned that was what I was, I felt something inside me crack a little, but I didn't cry, not then. I saved my tears for nights when no one could see. I've lived in many places, on the streets, in shelters, under porches, in small corners behind buildings where the wind wasn't too strong. I've slept on cold floors and warm dirt. I've slept sitting up so that people wouldn't take my things. I've slept listening to the sound of cars racing by and people shouting in the distance. I've slept wanting morning to come, and other times, wanting it not to. When you're a child without a home, the world feels too big and too loud. Everything towers over you. Buildings, people, shadows, fears. You learn to walk quietly, talk softly, move carefully, and you learn to make yourself small, because small things get stepped on less often. Sometimes people ask me where I live. I never know how to answer. I usually point to somewhere close so they stop asking, but the truth is, I just stay places until someone tells me to leave. I don't think people understand that feeling, the feeling of not belonging to any place at all. The feeling that the ground under you could disappear at any moment and no one would notice. I walk a lot. My legs get tired, but walking feels like the only thing I can control. Sometimes when I see other children walking to school with their backpacks, I walk behind them from far away and pretend I'm one of them. I imagine where they're going. I imagine that someone is waiting for them. I imagine that they have drawings in their bags and snacks in their pockets. One time I even copied their steps, left foot, right foot, like I was part of the line. But when the school gate opened and everyone rushed inside, I stopped. I just stood there, watching the doors close behind them. I wished so badly I could walk through those doors too. I wished so badly I belonged somewhere the way they did. People say children don't need much, but that isn't true. We need a lot. We need love, safety, warmth, a place to put our heads without fear, a voice calling us home, arms that hold us, and a heart that thinks about us. I don't have those things. Sometimes I pretend that I do. Pretending helps. It feels like borrowing happiness for a little while. There was a time I stayed under a wooden shed for several weeks. It wasn't much, just some old boards, broken tools, and a patched up roof. But for me it felt like a castle. It was quiet there, safe. I would lie down on the dusty floor and look through the cracks in the roof at the sky. I imagined the stars were tiny holes leading to another world, a world where I wasn't alone, a world where someone was waiting for me to come home, a world where I had a bed, a blanket, a laugh that wasn't afraid, a life that wasn't heavy. Sometimes other children would pass by. They laughed loudly, threw stones or played games in the distance. Their joy felt like a language I couldn't speak. Sometimes their parents would pull them away when they saw me, as if loneliness could spread like a sickness. I remember one mother whispering, "Don't go near her," as if I wasn't standing right there, as if loneliness was contagious, as if my sadness might jump into her child. I never understood why some adults think homeless children are dangerous. We're not dangerous, we're just tired, hungry, hurt, invisible. I've learned to hide my feelings, not because I'm strong, but because feelings make you weak in front of the wrong people. Some people see a crying child and feel compassion. Others see a crying child and see an opportunity. I've learnt the difference. The world has taught me. I don't have toys, but I find things on the ground that I pretend are toys. Once I found a button that was shaped like a flower. I kept it for 3 months. I held it in my hand every night. It made me feel like I owned something pretty. One day I dropped it while running from the rain, and I couldn't find it again. I cried that day, not because it was a button, but because it was the only thing I had. Losing it felt like losing everything all over again. Being homeless means you lose things constantly. Some things you let go of, some things you wish stayed, and some things you lose without knowing how to get them back. Like hope, like trust, like pieces of yourself. I'm small, but I understand more than people think. I hear the way adults talk about me when they think I'm not listening. They say things like poor thing, such a sad case, someone should help her. But no one ever does. Words don't fill an empty stomach. Concern doesn't warm cold hands. Pity doesn't build a home. People say these things and then they walk away. Their words stay behind, echoing in my ears long after they're gone. I try to find good things even in my days. I like the sound of birds in the morning. I like when the breeze touches my face softly. I like the color of sunsets, orange, pink, purple, like the sky is painting itself just for me. I like when dogs wag their tails at me. I like when people smile without fear. I like when the world feels gentle, even if it's just for a moment. Sometimes I imagine what my life would be like if things were different. If I had a home, if I had a bed, if I had someone waiting for me. I imagine waking up inside a house, sunlight coming through the window, blankets soft and warm. I imagine eating breakfast with someone who loves me. I imagine going to school and learning new things. I imagine drawing pictures and hanging them on a wall that belongs to me. I imagine laughing without wondering who might hear. I imagine sleeping without worrying about tomorrow. I imagine being a child, just a child, not a survivor. But even though life is hard for me, I still have hope. Hope is the thing that lives inside me, even when everything else feels empty. Hope is small but it's strong. Hope is like a tiny candle in a dark room. Even when the room is huge and scary, the candle still burns. I hold on to that candle every day. It's the only light I have. Sometimes I wonder why I'm telling this story. Maybe it's because I want people to see me, not just as a homeless girl, not just as an orphan, but as a human being. A little girl with dreams, a little girl with feelings, a little girl who wants to matter. I want people to know that children like me exist, that we wake up every day and try our hardest to survive, that we want love the same way everyone else does, that our hearts beat just as loud as anyone's. My name is Mary, I'm 8 years old, I'm homeless, I'm an orphan. But I'm also more than that. I'm a girl who still believes tomorrow might be better. I'm a girl who still hopes someone will listen, someone will care, someone will see me. If you hear my voice right now, thank you. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for letting me exist in your mind for a moment. Thank you for giving me space in your heart, even if it's just a little. Sometimes all a lonely child needs is for someone to hear them. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know if I'll still be in the same place. I don't know if I'll find something to eat. I don't know if I'll find a place to rest. But I know one thing. I'll keep going. I'll keep walking. I'll keep hoping. Because even though life has been hard, I'm still here. I'm still Mary. And this is my story.